I did the Joe. I did the stream I did that you told me to do.
Okay.
I did it.
Okay.
I streamed it.
How'd it go?
It was cool. I enjoyed doing it. It actually wasn't that hard. I finished P2.
Okay.
I finished P2. I did a C fixed race at Vegas. Vegas was very good to me this week. I finished second and fifth in Xfinity races and B fixed races, and then C fixed I finished second and first. So we had a good week. But yeah, I did a C fixed race, and I did the little like kind of give out my thought process as I ran, and so like, I explained like my moves and why I was making them, all that stuff that we talked about, and it was quite fun. I don't think anyone tuned in, but I didn't expect anyone to, because like I just kind of did it out of the blue. But it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was I don't need to ramble about it anymore. But
No.
I enjoyed it.
So Davey gonna be streaming over on D7H5 or
that was what I meant to get to
ER
next,
at the
yes.
end. Twitch.tv.
H5er with an ER at the end on Twitch. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. I would like to stream more, like I have been saying that I want to do. So yeah, that was pretty good. Good little introduction back into hopefully more regular streaming.
And then make sure you donate to him so he can afford his Windows license.
Don't donate to me. There are so many more important things you could donate to. Don't donate to me. I'll be fine. Unless you're like Roger Penske, and you're like, oh, I'll donate a contract. I'm like, oh my god, really?
Really? You want me to
Yeah,
come
I'll
produce
take that.
content at MIS or IMS? Jesus.
But if you want to give me like $4 so I can get like a Moza H pattern shifter or something, don't bother. I'll just buy it with my money. Go donate to charity or something.
We'll get
A
Davey
good one.
streaming over on JTN too, or if it's good enough on JTN.
I'll stream on JTN too.
That works.
I'll stream on if I can do a dual like stream, right? Well, I guess I need if it's on Streamlabs, I think I need like a premium thing or something.
No.
On Streamlabs?
I have on Streamlabs, but I have a plugin for OBS Studio.
Oh, I don't use OBS.
No, well you should because it's better.
It's the same program. One's just like, one's just
one
like
one is the equivalent of an RGB keyboard to a normal keyboard.
Yeah, but they both are. It's the same layout.
No.
I used OBS. It's the same thing.
I understand, but one looks better than the other, but has the same functionality, while the other one.
If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure like Streamlabs got sued by OBS too for basically stealing their stuff.
They probably did.
It's super similar.
So just use OBS, folks. What we use here
I
at
like-
JTN.
I like Streamlabs. It's more seamless connection with Twitch. If I like start to stream, I can change the name of the stream.
Yeah, you're
and
not
stuff
wrong.
Like that, so
I'm sure there's a plugin for that though, but
I'm sure. It does make you pay for dual streaming. So maybe if I do stream to, if I do get that JTN2 deal, then I'll have to.
Bristol gonna come knocking on your door down there.
Yeah, like an old baseball scout. I think you have the right stuff, kid. I'm like, okay. Like what? You look good out there. I'm like, okay. Sure. I love baseball.
You were pretty good at baseball in high school, right?
No, I didn't play any sports in high school because I was scared that I was too bad at them. But I was pretty good at baseball, like in Little League and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what
I had like a coach. Like we did like a yard sale, and like one of my old coaches like stopped by and recognized me. He's like, "You sure you should you want to play baseball still, please?" I was like,
please
nah,
come
I'm
play
good.
baseball.
No, I'm good. I do wish I played more sports in high school though. That'll be a cold open for another time.
Yeah. I played Little League for like 8 years, and I was good up until I was like 10, and then I broke my arm, and then I sucked after I came back from that.
Okay. Wow.
I didn't break my arm playing baseball. I was doing something else. So.
Yeah.
The BMX.
No, I was doing stunts on the swing set. So.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So stupid stuff.
I think I could still do backflips. By the way.
I really that rocks. By the way, I really wish I would like. I'm not gonna get too far into it. I wish I would have played soccer or basketball in high school because I was actually like pretty good at basketball and I really liked soccer, but I was just too scared. It stinks.
Yeah.
What could have been?
Little scaredy cat.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I was really anxious. I had crippling anxiety.
I feel that. Yeah.
Wasn't trying to like go there, but okay.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm not actually upset. Everything's fine. I'm just trying to keep it exciting because guess what? We didn't get excited by the damn cup race on Sunday. That was awful. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say Matt wearing his EB Racing hoodie after their big win in Anchorage. Saturday on
yeah.
JTN.
Go Cam.
Yeah, baby.
So, I'm also unintentional. I didn't plan this, by the way, but I am wearing the Let Cal Drive the Truck shirt as well. So
Oh, for
That
the former
rocks.
driver of the 12.
That rocks. That rocks. That
But yeah,
So-
more entertaining is this cold open than what we saw Sunday at Las Vegas. Go ahead, Davey. You can pick it up.
It was boring. The Vegas Cup. Well, it wasn't a good race.
No.
It wasn't exciting. I thought the race was like fine. It's okay that there's races that aren't super exciting, but it was not exciting.
Have we seen any of those elitist race fans talking about how, well, they enjoyed the race because it was a lot of green flag race? Have we seen any of those things out there?
I haven't seen it as much yet. I saw a lot of it about the Xfinity race, but the Xfinity race
The
worked
Xfinity
out.
race was good.
It was good. It worked out at the end to where like it did kind of,
Yeah.
it was like the polar opposite of the Cup race almost. But yeah, I haven't seen any Cup race people. I haven't seen any like people talking about that like the Cup race. Like it was green all the way to the end. I loved every second of it. And like yeah, you can enjoy that. You can be glad the right person won. I don't call it exciting because it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's okay when races aren't
okay.
exciting.
Yeah.
Um,
not everything can be a banger.
That's
So,
right. Makes the bangers even better.
well, William Byron won, so that kind of tells you how the race went. I don't think how many exciting races. I guess he won that Daytona race. That was exciting.
Oh,
Trying to think,
not for me.
Well,
The-
yeah,
Definitely the dullest
there.
race last year was probably Martinsville.
Martinsville he won.
that.
The Atlanta race, like I know, like
Everybody-
New Atlanta, but they were single file most of that
Yeah,
race.
everybody hated that race, and he won that one.
He won that
Um,
Homestead race the year before, but I really don't remember any of it. I think I more so remember that race because didn't like Tyler Reddick let off before they
I
got the
know
checkered
Buescher won the
flag?
stage too. Oh
or
yeah, yeah.
something.
Reddick thought
Yeah.
let off like a lap early, and his spotter started yelling at him.
Yeah, he's like,
"Go!"
"Thanks, guys. I'm sorry. I tried really hard." That's why I was like, "One more lap. Come on." That was really funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have in our notes like, year 2 next gen, can it be just as good as year 1? Like,
It can't be. I thought some of the racing was good on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't think the race itself was good. Like it's obviously as the teams figure more stuff out, we're not gonna have the craziness that we did like last year. It really reminds me of when Formula One went like really shifted their what's it called what is it, the rules package or
Regulations.
whatever. The regulations in 2014, and they showed up to Melbourne, and like all the cars were like super twitchy and all over the place, and everyone was like, "This is awesome!" And then in 2015, everyone figured it out, and they were stuck like glue again.
Yeah.
It's just how it happens. It's just racing. It's development.
that was the thing
We're
though.
gonna
Like,
get
I mean,
that.
Auto Club last week was pretty good.
Auto Club is a great track.
That's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, the cream's naturally going to rise to the top. Like the
Mhm.
the great teams are going to figure stuff out.
Chevy
So,
got
and some-
better.
Yeah, and sometimes
Chevy is-
like
Chevy.
Hendrick. Oh my god, my voice.
It's pretty obvious.
Sometimes Hendrick just hits the setup,
Yeah.
and there's nothing else anybody can do about that. So
I mean,
Chevy looks
Chevy
fast this year.
Chevy as a whole, though.
Chevy
Yeah.
is kicking.
I mean, we'll see. Phoenix is going to be a fun challenge because it's a new, rules package. We'll talk about that a little bit before we talk
Mhm.
about that race this weekend. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Looking like them Chevys be pretty quick.
The Ford's
yeah.
kind of like
Fords
Logano
looked
got
bad.
pole, but like Logano got pole, but he wasn't quick in the race at
They
all.
were
Like,
bad.
He was nowhere. It was really bad.
yeah.
Bad.
Blaney, I think Blaney was like the only Ford that was really up there. We'll talk about another comment about Ryan Blaney, but
It's a fun one.
it is a fun one. He did go down pit road to get 4 tires on that last stop, which I don't get that at all.
Jonathan Hassler, baby.
I don't get that at all. Chad Johnson ass move.
Also, I'm going through the results. Big shout out to Corey LaJoy, top 20.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
he's
team's
had
been good this season.
again. Chevy's been good. Like
That team, he's in the playoffs, right? He's on the bubble nearly.
Yeah.
He's top 20, I think, right now.
Yeah. He's been running well.
he's ahead of Chase Elliott in points. I think.
Most
What
people are
happened
now.
with that, Joe? How did
I
that
don't want to go
happen?
there yet.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you want to go there? I guess we got to go
Yeah.
there because I did bring it
Might as
up.
well.
So Chase
So-
Elliott comes out Friday at like 7 p.m. Eastern because I was at a hockey game and all of a sudden my phone was blowing up. So that was awesome. Shout out to U of M for winning and beating Wisconsin, even though it should not have been that close. But okay, Big Ten hockey playoffs. Anyways, Chase Elliott broke his tip. He broke his leg.
Let me look it up to be sure.
He broke a bone. I don't know why we're really
He
caring.
used the tibia. But...
Thank you. Broke it snowboarding in Colorado. There's
a whole debate right here.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot we could say about it. Okay, let's start off with this, right? Let's start off with the main debate everyone's having. Is was it? Oh God, what do you guys think it was irresponsible for him to be out snowboarding?
As a snowboarder, I'm biased to say no, but I can elaborate on that more. Because drivers are going to have hobbies outside of it. I'm sure Chase Elliott and I are on different levels of snowboarding, but I've never, knock on wood, seriously hurt myself doing it. So, but there was a really good tweet by Mark Urban that I got to find now that I responded to. Hang on. But he was basically making fun of the fear mongering of everybody on. Yeah, here it was. Snowboarding is a death sport, and every single person that goes snowboarding gets hurt. The slopes are covered in lifeless bodies by 5 p.m. every day. Source NASCAR Twitter. And then I responded, I can confirm I've gone snowboarding twice this season and died 4 times. Yeah. Is what it is. I mean, any hobby or sport's going to have danger. He could have broken his leg driving a race car, too. So
Kyle Busch.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really care, but that's what it is.
It's a tough one. This one's a tough one for me because I'm really split on this because I agree with you. I think every race car driver is going to have a hobby. They're going to want something that scratches an itch. They're going to want something that gets their mind off of the grind of being a race car driver, which Chase Elliott already struggles with, as you see every week. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there. So I imagine he does want to have other hobbies. But at the same time, there is some merit to people who question. I think the people who are questioning his commitment, oh, he doesn't care. He's out snowboarding in the 3rd week of the season. I think that's ass. I think to use that as some sort of moral high ground to say that Chase Elliott doesn't care or that Chase Elliott cares more about XYZ than racing, I think that's asinine. That doesn't make any sense. I think that's ludicrous. But I do think it is slightly irresponsible when you're not just your career, but you have a whole team of people who are working towards a goal. And chances are he's going to get the waiver. Nothing's going to matter. But you have a team of people around you who are working for a goal, and you are in the spotlight. At least you are the centerfold. You are the centerpiece for that team. You are the most popular driver in NASCAR. You are the A-lister in your sport. The A-lister in your team, you're the main man, the guy whose face is on everything. I feel like, maybe I go snowboarding in the off season instead, and then I kind of do. Maybe I play a round of golf when the season's going. I know, and that's also me. That's me who would die to have an opportunity like Chase Elliott has in a race car, and would look at it much differently, I'm sure, than he has. So people who claim to know everything psychologically about what is happening or claim to know every aspect of decision making that happened with everyone involved, they're ridiculous. Shut them out. Do I think it was irresponsible? A little bit. Do I think race car drivers as a whole should be allowed to go do things that they think are fun and have hobbies? Absolutely, yes. It's up to them to police themselves.
Yeah, and to be fair, I do think that's very valid too. I think a big part of it too is what kind of snowboard is he doing? It's if he's out there riding park, it's okay, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that because that's the easiest way to hurt yourself.
What does that mean?
Hitting rails and boxes and jumps and stuff like that instead of just riding trails and going downhill. No, I think there is validity to that. I think you could definitely factor in too. I'm willing to bet he didn't go into this thinking oh man, I'm just going to keep snowboarding. It was probably oh man, this is my last chance to go for 8 months.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Because it's probably not going to be a lot of snow in the next few months. So I think it definitely sits somewhere in the middle where like, yeah, your drivers are going to have their hobbies, and like it's not something Chase Elliott would probably go do if he wasn't very good at it and didn't hurt himself 99% of the time. But you can definitely make an argument that it's irresponsible.
Didn't he live out in Colorado for a bit growing up?
Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like that's a thing.
I think he even potentially has something going on in Colorado. I mean, Jimmy Johnson had something going on in Colorado while he was driving for Hendrick, so maybe it rubbed off on Chase. I don't know.
Yeah, I could have, because NBC did a good little documentary after, I think it was after he won the championship, and they kind of like followed Chase around and stuff, and I don't know, kind of did that prodigal son type documentary about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here's a thing from 09 that says he did used to live in Colorado for.
Oh, that's
years.
cool.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
For folks that say like he'd be a beginner or something, because I did see some of that, like, oh, he had no experience. Why would he go out and do that if he had no experience?
Yeah, that's
dumb.
Yeah,
just wanted to point that out.
That's dumb.
Yeah, no.
And
Sucks
Matt,
that
you
he's
make
out
a good
of the car.
It does. It obviously we want him to get better. And Matt, you made a really good point too. Like obviously he's not a beginner. Like he has some experience, and like he's going to want to, like if he's going to go do something, he wants to go like up to his experience level. Like he's not going to go and like, sorry Joe, I don't think you have to censor this, but he's not going to go pussyfoot around down a slope. Like he's going to have fun up to an extent that he knows. Like Chase Elliott is not stupid. He's not going to like do anything that he knows is going to hurt himself. It's probably an accident. We have no idea what happened.
And it's not to mention that like obviously freak accidents happen.
Exactly.
You can just land. You can hit something weird or land weird, and just because it wasn't even a full break, it was a fracture of one of the two bones in his lower leg. So
yeah, it could have been anything.
Yeah, sucks. Good. Yep. You call it irresponsible, but hindsight's 20/20. So. I've
seen race car drivers do way more irresponsible things in their off time.
Looking at you, Brett Moffitt. He broke both of his legs during COVID. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart did something similar too, in like an ATV, right?
Yeah, he was in. I think he was in like a side by side.
That was like his last year too.
Yeah, they were like out like jumping dunes, and he like landed and fractured his back or something.
So he was like with Greg Biffle or something too. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember one time he was doing that with Jeff Gordon and Jeff Gordon like destroyed his back while they were out doing that. Or Tony hurt his back and Jeff came back to help him. Something like that. He was with Jeff Gordon for one of those. Where
I bet you Jeff hurt his back too, and if he didn't do that, he would have won 13 championships.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So, and this is going to lead into our next little thing, but we're through to intermediate races. You obviously had the Super Speedway. People seem to forget that Super Speedways now make up 6 races of the 36, which is a decent percentage too now.
1/6.
1/6. It's crazy. Well, it's just as many as road courses do. But how are we feeling? Like, I think obviously Hendrick looks good, right? Mm-hmm. Chase finished second last week at Fontana. They had speed.
I mean, we touched on it. The Chevys as a whole,
look
unbelievable. Kyle Larson, before he had the problem early last week at Fontana 2, was
Trackhouse looks good.
Trackhouse just as good. They did not miss a beat coming back this season.
A little disappointed where Legacy is. Might be from a fan perspective a little too much, but a little disappointed.
I was gonna say, like, do you think that team's getting spread thin a little bit on resources?
I would think so. I would think more is going towards the 42 car than it was last year.
I would argue the same thing is happening to Colleague as well. Being spread a little thin.
Yeah, but they're better than they were last year.
They are. But I feel like they could be. I feel like that team as a whole, and this is going to kind of cross over a little bit into Xfinity as well. Like I feel like that's why their Xfinity team is struggling a little bit too.
Well, yeah.
There's just so much resources being diverted. Everything can struggle when that's happening.
They probably could have done with closing down that third Xfinity team. Like I know, like people's jobs, and not saying that that's something that should happen, but if you want to look at just a performance and money and resources thing, maybe it helps. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But Penske looks awkward. I think is a good way to talk about how they're I think Cindric ended up getting a top 10 maybe
Yeah.
somehow.
They seem fast, but like this is gonna sound dumb. Fast, but not good.
Yeah,
Joe Logano got on pole. It
immediately
didn't
fell to
go anywhere.
15th.
Yeah, didn't go anywhere with it. Fast, but not good.
Pretty much the only DNF too.
Pat, I laughed.
Yeah.
Toyota has been.
Toyota looks better than they were this time last year as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just kind of look fine. Like Bubba's had a lot of speed. I feel like Reddick needs to dial it in a little bit, but I feel like Reddick can be fast.
Reddick's team needs to let him qualify.
Fair.
Because he didn't get to qualify this past week.
That's true. I forgot about that.
So I kind of look at Phoenix because he was really good there. Again, another track where he was really good that I think people are forgetting about. I think he finished second or third in that race last year, and was probably a little bit quicker than Briscoe was. Look to that race to see how the 8 with Kyle Busch and Reddick perform, and kind of get another glimpse of that, because we didn't really get a good view of it at California. I know Kyle won, but Reddick again had to start at the back and blah 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 blah. But Toyota, Ford's troubling because like SHR, holy crap, Chase Briscoe is slow.
Yeah,
they were really bad. At
Ryan Preece is running about the same, if not a little bit worse than when he was in the 37 car and 47.
23rd and 28th today, and then or not today, on Sunday, and then Harvick 9th and Almirola 16th.
And that, again, those runs aren't indicative of where they were during the race. Yeah. That late race caution did a lot.
Yeah, it's really weird how Harvick is always a one-man island, a one-man show on a team with multiple drivers. Just happens everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Happened at RCR, happening right now at Stuart Haas.
When Kurt was there, I feel like you can make a little bit of an argument against that.
A tiny one, not a big one.
But
also Kurt
was definitely
also,
1B, like wasn't like 1B, he was still 2, but
yeah.
But Kurt also, like, Kurt is a caliber of driver, he can win in anything. He almost won in the H. Scott car. Like,
yeah, that's true. Very true.
He almost won for Phoenix once.
That's a different.
That's what he's saying.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Sorta, almost. Yeah.
Pretty much. So
he just got bottom.
Regardless, Kevin Harvick. I'm gonna turn this around into that it's Kevin Harvick's fault. He's sucking the resources out of his teammates' teams.
Yep.
So that's my headcanon.
As a Ryan Preece fan,
it's actually Kevin Harvick's fault. He did the same thing at RCR. It's my headcanon.
he's actually Austin Dillon.
Kevin Harvick bribes team owners.
He's what everyone says Austin Dillon is.
Exactly.
they're like in the garage stall, and he's like walking by Briscoe's, and he just kind of like reaches over and just like lets some air out of the tires as he.
I think he's also. I mean, let's be fair though. He also has the best crew chief there. He's got.
True. Yeah.
He's probably got the best engineers.
Yes.
He's probably because it's all trickled down from head honcho. Rodney Childers
can make
really
just about
good.
anything fast.
No. I mean, that all makes sense.
Rodney
I
Childers
just think
could probably
it's more.
put a shopping cart in the top 10.
Probably.
I just think it's way more fun to blame Kevin Harvick for all the
is.
shortcomings because it's a fun pattern that I noticed, and I think I can just blame him for it.
Yeah.
And most people that I know would agree because most people don't like him. So.
Yeah. Very fair.
It's a good rumor I can start.
RFK looks better. Now they were running stronger at the end of last year. I want to see what they do at Phoenix this weekend because the flat tracks are where they struggle more than anything else. So I want to see where they stack up there before I say that they're better than they were last year. But at least for now, they look better than they were last year.
I don't know if the Clash is any indication. They might as well just pack it up. And that West Coast swing, they ain't nothing left for you out there.
But staying with Ford. Kyle Petty made some fun comments this week on the NASCAR NBC podcast that people have been reading about. I listened to it right before we started, and it was kind of, he was saying this in passing, so it was kind of like a pot shot almost. But talking about Ryan Blaney, and talking about how Ryan Blaney's the new Kasey Kahne, how he just has failed to meet the what's the word he used? One of you. This is why we have links and we pull things up. We'll see if that ever opens because it's on Twitter.
Everybody wants to talk about what he can do, but he never does anything.
Yeah, potential unfulfilled.
Yeah.
what do we think? As someone that was a Kasey Kahne fan growing up, and someone that knows who is another person that was a Kasey Kahne fan and is now a Ryan Blaney fan. I've not said that to that person yet, but I'm about to.
Yeah.
What are the thoughts there?
Go ahead, Matt.
Alex Bowman
I think
fan,
there's
Matthew
some
Steelman.
truth to it. Yeah. That's me. I mean, I lived as a Dale Jr. fan. I know nothing but crushing disappointment. So,
Of course.
yeah, it's there comes a point where like you could say things like blame his crew chief and his pit crew, and like the 12 crew does suck a particular type of ass. But eventually, at some point, like, what's the common denominator? And I want to also make sure to say that I do not think Ryan Blaney is a bad race car driver. I think he's very good. The problem is it is extremely hard to win NASCAR races. And for whatever reason, whether it's Ryan Blaney or it's the team, they are never their best at the end of the race. Nope. And I don't understand why.
And even those races, people are going to point back to that 3-win season. One of those wins was Daytona, and we all know he's really good. And that is where he shines. And I don't know if that's a Penske thing or what, but he shines there. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Another one was winning a late race restart at Michigan with 2 laps to go, and just outdueling William Byron, who we talked about a little bit at the start of this race, how he wins snoozers. And then the other one that year was Atlanta, and that was really the only one where he outdueled Larson early in the year, and it was like, oh man, look at this. So I don't know.
I think Kyle Petty makes a fair point.
It's a comparison.
I think there's merit on both sides of this, in my opinion, because I really do believe, like Matt said, I believe Ryan Blaney is a good race car driver. I don't think he's excuse me. I don't think he's necessarily the Kasey Kahne equivalent. I would argue Kasey Kahne's a little bit better right now. Just because, I mean, Kasey Kahne had like a breakout year. Ryan Blaney hasn't had that. Ryan Blaney hasn't had a breakout. I mean, like you said, the 3-win season, but that's not a.
That's a breakout.
I don't think. If I went back, okay, I can think back to 2006 and be like, oh yeah, Kasey Kahne won however many races that year. When did Blaney won 2000 what?
2006 he won 6, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If you told me Ryan Blaney won 3 races in a season, I wouldn't know what year that was.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
2020, 2021? One of those two?
21.
There we go. Like, that's not a breakout season. He won 3 races. Like, I don't think that's a breakout season. Ryan Blaney should have made a Final Four at this point, in my opinion. He's with a good enough team and he's a good enough driver to have made it to a Final Four at this point. He's with a good enough team and he's a good enough driver to have dominated and won a race at some point. I don't know. Something doesn't mesh.
Something's not clicking.
He's missing like a clutch gene. I don't know what. I know that's not real, but I'm just saying, like, there's something that is missing from the 12 team, season in, season out, where he just cannot really get in and win races. Because I feel like him not winning races is the reason he hasn't won a championship yet.
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely
that's the only thing that stopped him, because he's consistent. He runs up front for the most part, but he does not win races. Yeah. And that's keeping him from winning the championship.
I do want to also bring up the point. In 2021, he had Todd Gordon on top of the box, and then Todd Gordon retired. And he got Jonathan Hassler for 22.
Yeah, I do think that's a big what if too. Is what if Todd Gordon sticks around? Do they grow together?
But Todd Gordon didn't have anywhere to grow. Is the Todd Gordon?
I mean,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah. But so now what you've done to Blaney for the 3rd time in his career, I think. You've told him, okay, here's a crew chief with little Cup Series experience. All right, go win races.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to point out Kyle Petty has 1 more Cup win than Ryan Blaney, so I think he's allowed to criticize him.
Wait, really? How many Cup wins does Kyle Petty have?
8.
Oh my God, he has.
Kyle Petty was a pretty good race car driver in the early 90s.
I feel like Kyle Petty was in worse equipment compared to what Blaney's in now.
Yeah.
People give Kyle Petty a lot of crap because he has a lot of opinions. I also subscribe to the fact that you don't have to be a good race car driver to know when someone's a bad race car driver, but people make
It's-
that argument, but
Yeah, and when it comes to the Kasey Kahne comparison too, I don't know if that's a perfect one-to-one comparison because you look at the situations that Kasey Kahne was in. He was with Evernham when that team was absolutely falling apart.
mhm.
And then Evernham merged with Richard Petty Motorsports, which was a complete mess both years that he was there.
It was.
And then he goes to Red Bull, which was just a
It was a stopgap year.
thing.
Yep.
And then he goes to Hendrick. And so, like, I think a big part of it is he's referring to the latter Hendrick years where he was miles off the other three guys there. But
What was Casey's best ever points finish, though?
I think
That's a
fourth was
great
one year.
question.
Yeah, that still tells me unfulfilled potential. I think
Yeah, I'm not
is-
saying Kane didn't have unfulfilled. He's definitely a giant what if.
I'm trying to
But yeah.
trying to understand what you're trying to get at. Like
I'm
how
just saying that more like I don't know if it's more damning of a comparison to compare Ryan Blaney to him because Ryan Blaney hasn't been constantly surrounded by turmoil like Kasey Kahne had.
Mhm.
So
okay. Get what you're saying.
yeah, his best points finish 2012. He finished fourth.
Yeah, which was his first year at Hendrick. He still
Yeah.
had Kenny. I think he still had Kenny Francis on top of the box too, who had followed him from Evernham to RPM to Red Bull to Hendrick. Yeah, man.
Kenny Francis, 103rd Street Sports Complex, Jacksonville, Florida alumni. Little kart racer action there. Shout out Kenny Francis.
But I think it's definitely fair to start. You know, obviously, Alex Bowman. We were talking about this in the open. Alex Bowman was talked about how he was on a hot seat coming into this year, and he's not winning as much as the other Hendrick guys. Alex Bowman's expectations aren't as high as Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and even William Byron to a similar degree, in my opinion. Alex Bowman is there to be the fourth driver at Hendrick, and that's not a bad thing. People need to stop thinking that's a bad thing. Because an organization like Hendrick can sustain 4 cars.
Yeah, I don't want to say that Alex Bowman shouldn't be criticized. By the way, I think there's some. I did think it was pretty rich though that I said that Alex Bowman's 2021 season was not that great outside of his 4 wins, and everybody crapped all over me for that. And now those same people are all crapping over Alex Bowman, how bad he is constantly. And I'm like, okay, so when did that switch? So,
Recency bias.
I don't know.
Don't get a concussion in the next gen car.
Yeah, true.
Yikes.
It's safe.
What the hell was I gonna say?
Huh.
Something
Thanks.
about that. I don't know. But yeah, the difference though is like one's a 4-car team versus a 3-car team. So like
One driver has been a highly touted prospect.
yeah, a big part of that is expectation too. I don't want to bring Alex Bowman into this because
No, I think
But-
it's another driver that a lot of people like to say underachieves with the equipment, and it's a top team. That's the only reason I bring it up as a comparison.
Mhm.
I think they both could use an improvement, but it is funny how they're the complete opposites though, is that Blaney dominates and never closes, and Bowman runs 12th and then steals wins. It's like if you put them together, you would have one complete awesome race car driver.
Be unbeatable every
Yeah.
step of the race.
To be fair, it took Kyle Larson like 3 years to figure out how to close a race in the Cup Series. So
True, yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Speaking of closers, Austin Hill. I didn't get to watch this race, so it's on you guys. But man, he closed the deal at Las Vegas, didn't he?
Certainly did not. Chandler Smith was absolutely dominating the end of that race. The most of the race kind of played out similarly to the Cup race. It was just the way that Chandler Smith obviously does not have a lot of experience closing out race wins and the Xfinity Series, obviously, clearly. Ran his tires a little hard. He got caught up. The Austin Hill caught him fast. It looked like from a done deal to, oh wait a minute, the interval's closing, and probably like 3 laps.
Oh yeah, the rate that he and Allgaier caught him was just absurd. It went from like, oh, he's got this, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's okay. Well,
he's right there. Oh, I wonder if he'll get him by the end of by the white flag lap, and then he was around him with 2 to go. like wasn't even close. Austin Hill continuing a breakout season in Xfinity. Breakout seasons. This is a breakout season for Austin Hill. Yeah, man.
Dude's a stud. Yeah.
I didn't get to watch a lot of the Xfinity race on Saturday. I was
same,
at the house,
unfortunately.
but I saw the end.
Yeah.
Basically,
Basically, the exact
bets.
same thing. I didn't get to see the whole race, but I did see the end.
It played out a lot like the Cup race, except for the fact that tires actually became a big deal.
Yeah. Kyle Busch wins his first race. KBM Chevy.
I nailed my truck pick.
That's crazy.
Truck Series team owner Kyle Busch. Can you believe
Kyle
it?
Busch guy seems like he's going to be a big deal in a few years. So watch out for him.
Could be.
Look out,
Nailed
Corey
the pick.
Roper.
No.
I don't think he's looking out. I'm going to be honest. Corey Roper does not care.
Yeah.
Some little weirdo Kyle Busch. Like, this guy's not going to. It's a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
In all honesty, though, impressive. KBM's able to win so quick. They were obviously quick in Daytona. Again, it's Kyle Busch, right? So how much stock we put into it compared to, when Chase Purdy and Jack Wood are going to be out there on track is...
Kyle Busch in probably his best series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he was saying a while back on the Dale Jr. download, he was like, before I retire, if they ever end like the truck series or shut it down or whatever, he's like, NASCAR, you have to let me run for the championship because I need a truck championship. He was like, I would dominate if you guys let me do that.
I love it. I kind of dig it. Like, it would be really boring for a season, but like I kind of dig that he wants it that bad.
Can you imagine he wins like all
his
23
18th
races?
win of the season? Kyle Busch. God. Also,
that will be that. Oh my God! I just figured out how we get rid of the playoffs. We let Kyle Busch do that. That's the season that everyone with those, like, how they make up a scenario where a driver could win all but one race except for the last one and finish second to the last one and lose the championship. We could make that happen.
Oh my God!
We could make it happen. This
talking to
needs to
Tommy.
happen.
Get Tommy on the phone.
My God!
One guy with pins and string on a board going all Pepe Silvio while he's
It's
coming
like
up with this strategy.
It's like those math problems where someone has 32 watermelons and you're like, why do they have 32 watermelons? That doesn't make sense. And then you see someone with 32 watermelons, you're like, that's real life. That would be Kyle Busch in the truck series losing the championship.
It's funny. You can actually take it a step further. You can lead all but one lap in a season and lose the championship.
Oh my God, and that could happen too. I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds lovely. We figured out how to get rid of the playoffs.
Weirdly popular win. Did not expect people to be.
He drives a Chevy now.
Yeah.
He doesn't drive it on them damn Yoders. That's what it is. Doesn't drive for big bad Joe Gibbs Racing. It's cool to like Kyle Busch now, guys.
Yep.
I liked Kyle Busch before it was cool.
I'm gonna like Kyle Busch after it's cool.
What was pretty cool was the IndyCar series opener, or season opener from St. Pete.
Joe, I'm sorry, I didn't see any of this.
Really?
I didn't get to watch any of it. I was out.
I guess Jimmy wasn't in the race, right? So you're not going to watch IndyCar anymore. Not an IndyCar fan. Your driver's not there.
No, I just wasn't home.
Okay. Marcus Ericsson wins. Crazy race. I saw the accidents. I came home to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I came home to a lot of discourse about a lot of stuff, and I was like, what did I miss?
There's the pit cycle there at the end. Scotty McLaughlin and Romain Grosjean. Grosjean's already out. He's got his tires warmed up. McLaughlin's coming off pit lane, and they wreck. A lot of discourse about whose fault that was, and a lot of discourse about, like, oh, well, Scott should have known his tires were warmed up or were cold. And sure, I guess. But both drivers probably need to take a chill pill there, if we're being honest. If we're looking at each other with their racing goggles on, hey man, probably not the time to do any of that.
That's why not having tire warmers rocks, by the way.
Yeah.
And none of that crappy stuff. Boo technology.
For all the F1 fans out there, that's why no tire warmers rules.
Yeah. You'll survive, Lewis.
They would put the tires under like a space heater though.
Just one guy doing this.
Yeah, they would. I
Everybody breathe on him.
Like...
They'd put the tires like around the catering.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's gonna be like intricate reflector setups that like
Yeah. They
Yeah,
would
like
do that.
one guy with
everywhere
just a big ass mirror, like pointing it into the crowd.
a dude with a telescope.
They
Like
It's a
they're trying to set
magnifying
fire.
glass,
Like
but instead of frying ants, he's heating up his tires.
it's just like baking it across.
They would do that. No doubt in my mind.
I kind of love it. See, I'd rather have that than tire warmers.
Well, yeah,
So,
because then
it
it's
works.
not like consistent either, right? Like if it was something like that, like there's no way you can make it the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, McLaughlin versus Grosjean. We got off topic there.
It was fun. It was fun.
My take. Scott McLaughlin made a mistake. It was two guys racing for the win, and Grosjean was like, "Oh, I need to get by him now while I have the chance." And McLaughlin was like, "Oh God, I need to hold him off, but before he gets by me." And then he made a mistake and wrecked both of them. That's racing.
So I have a question, because maybe I'm just stupid. So, thanks, Davey. Grosjean's on the outside going into the corner. Now, Scott's obviously taking the defensive line down into the corner, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the argument that it's Scott's fault versus Grosjean's fault?
He lost the rear end and slid into him. If you watch it, his rear end slides out and he basically overcorrects, or not overcorrects, but basically slides in.
Because I mean, Grosjean's turning in on him in the apex of the corner. Like again, he's trying to hit an apex, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I saw, McLaughlin went too deep into the corner. Okay, looks like they're braking at the same time to me. I don't know. I didn't understand like trying to pit blame, like racing deal. We like talking about racing deals a lot. That was a racing deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Scott though got a time penalty or whatever. Not that it mattered.
Yeah.
His day was pretty much done.
And I don't even think it's like the most egregious thing that's ever happened. It was just like
no, but it's fun because IndyCar.
Yeah.
And one of them was an F1 driver.
And then McLaughlin got a little squirrely, and then Grosjean was there, and maybe Grosjean squeezed him a little bit. Is what it is. So.
Yeah, that's as close as you can get to a racing incident as possible. I mean, that's two dudes who went for the same real estate, genuinely went, like not trying to cut anybody off. They were like they just ended up in the same lane of track in that corner.
It's one of them racing deals.
Unfortunately.
Air screen works. We got two cars that went off the ground. Crazy how that happened.
Did you see the pictures of the car afterwards? Jesus.
I did. It was the Foyt car, right?
I believe so. With the big tire mark up its windscreen.
Oh, yeah.
Up its what?
The aero screen, windscreen.
I thought you were gonna say something bad. Up its booty. Okay.
All
right, cool.
Yeah, dudes were getting up dog in this race. Yeah, the first lap was just an absolute mess, and I do love how everybody was blaming him, like, it's this massive field size. I'm like, I've seen that before in an IndyCar.
Yeah.
You don't.
It's a street course.
It's like 4 more cars. It's really not that many.
Davey was at the Nashville GP.
It's a street. Boy, was I. It's a street course, man.
Yeah.
It's like street course. That comes with the territory of a street course. Sometimes that happens.
Yep. So that's what it is.
Now,
again, you don't have to have a hot take on everything. Sometimes crashes just happen.
It's okay.
This is why. This right here. This thing that I'm mad at right now. This is why everything else happens. Shut up. It's not true. It's not real.
Touch grass.
Go outside.
Catch a football.
I'm begging you. Catch a football. Put on a baseball glove. You don't have to catch it with it. Just put it on.
Joe, are you doing okay?
I spaced out. Just like the Andretti's probably wanted to space out because literally every one of their cars crashed. It was great.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say two of them got airborne, and then
what are they doing? What are they doing there?
Not running
the
up
cars
downforce,
are getting. I guess
they got up force in the car.
Got up force. Lift is what you're looking for.
The note that it was Andretti's no good, very bad day is very fitting. So, and then Colton Herta had his regularly scheduled crash. So, unfortunately,
Is he an F1 prospect?
I don't know.
Maybe if he wasn't trying to outdrive the crappy Andretti equipment.
Yeah, he's not getting any favors, is he?
No.
I don't know if he's doing himself any.
Michael
either.
Andretti walks around the paddock like, oh yeah, I'm big, I'm the big dog, and then just like has no
I'm the
handle on his
big
team
dog.
whatsoever. I'm gonna go to F1. Like I'm sure you can, but like, I'd like to see you in F1, but yeah, you can't even run an IndyCar team well. So
Yeah, too many cars there.
They literally have like 7 cars that they field.
do
It's
you
absurd.
remember last season when 2 of their drivers almost like fought each other? It was great.
Yeah, who was it? It was Grosjean and
Grosjean and Rossi.
yeah. Shout out to
And
Rossi.
Ohio.
I think he got a top 5.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Or-
that.
Started outside the top 10. Got a top 5. Good for Alexander.
I don't know why you said his name like
Oh my
that,
God.
but
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's like
how'd Stingray Rob do?
he wrecked. He was in the first lap wreck.
Oh hell yeah!
He
that's
plowed
awesome.
into it. Worse than Ryan Priest
It was
did.
bad.
Stingray. Oh.
It was bad. I was like watching the replay of it when it happened because I wasn't at home at the time, and it was like, oh, there's Stingray Rob.
Oh,
Damn it.
Stingray! Yeah, he did, didn't he? That was him. That was him that did
Yeah.
that. That's pretty funny.
So
That
that
you're
was
not in
IndyCar.
Idaho anymore, or what? Where is he from? Idaho,
Idaho,
Ohio. Yeah, you're not from Idaho. You're not in
Idaho,
Idaho anymore,
Ohio.
bud. Same thing.
Yeah.
Close enough.
One actually gives us something valuable.
The other one is.
Ohio. So that wraps up IndyCar coverage here on the Fake Racers podcast this week. All 5
Yeah.
minutes of it.
Hey,
Josh
we're covering
maybe
it
spent
better
on
than
the
they are.
Joshua. Josh Berry was on the entry list for the 9 car. He's now not on the entry list. He then went back on it and then is back off of it for this weekend at Phoenix. So
Jimmy Johnson's coming back to Hendrick. Hate to tell you.
honestly, when they said like one's likely and one's outside, like kind of crazy, I'm like, Jimmy's the crazy one, isn't he? That's immediately what I thought about.
It's gotta be.
It's
Has to be,
Daniel
right?
Ricciardo time. Hell yeah.
Jimmy Johnson just doesn't go to Sebring next weekend.
Yeah.
Of course not. Why would he? I don't understand.
Actually, no. Next weekend's Atlanta, right? No. What's
What
next
are you
weekend?
talking about, buddy? It's Phoenix.
No. Like
What?
after.
Atlanta?
I'm talking about Sebring because Sebring isn't this weekend, is it? Or is Sebring
No.
this weekend too?
No.
Yeah, Sebring's the following weekend, so he wouldn't. Jimmy Johnson ain't racing at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll. Okay, so Josh Berry will
You
be
just
back.
took us on a whole ride there, Joe.
Who do you think's gonna be in the 9 car, Davey?
Travis Pastrana. Let's do it. Come on.
Doesn't he have more top 10s than Tyler Reddick this year?
You know what? I think he does. Hang on.
I believe the same amount as Chase. So
Oh, I know. No, Pastrana finished 11th at Daytona, but I think he still has a better finish than Reddick. Hang on. Yeah, Reddick's best finish this year is 15th. So yeah, Travis
That's
Pastrana
awesome.
is the way to go.
Who's gonna be in the 9 car? You said.
yeah,
Dawson Cram. Okay.
I like that people are pitching the idea that Matt DiBenedetto should drive it as if they
Ew.
haven't always pulled their drivers from Junior Motorsports when they
Ew.
have this happen.
it's almost like Justin Allgaier literally has a test contract with Hendrick Motorsports or something.
Yeah, but that never matters. That never matters.
Yeah, that's true. Except for when it did back in the day.
Exactly. And it doesn't.
Yeah. He's already subbed for him once.
What, does Ty Gibbs
so
have a test contract with one of the Toyota teams? No.
Well, but he had a contract with TRD, and TRD runs everything.
What John Hunter Nemechek do?
Same thing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I would be very surprised if it's not Barry or Allgaier. So
Yeah, I would think Allgaier would get the nod. I wonder if it was just something last weekend Allgaier had plans, and he's like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Tell you,
Because
it's
he
Jimmy
can do
Johnson.
that.
It's Jimmy
Maybe.
Johnson.
I'm telling Jimmy Johnson's probably the one that's like a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
we could have. I could see that,
Whoa.
so. And
It's
then
gotta be Jimmy Johnson.
somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, but they should switch numbers between Chase Elliott and Alex
Oh my
Bowman
God.
this week,
Alright.
so Jimmy could have his
Xfinity
own
race
number
this
back."
weekend.
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be that guy.
Give
Are we doing
Jimmy's
Xfinity
number
picks? You
back.
said
Yep. Who you got?
Parker Kligerman.
All right.
Actually, no. I keep picking him, and he keeps having like weird starts to these races. He's actually he's in the top 10 in points, but I gotta stop picking him. I'm gonna go Truck Series team owner Kyle Busch.
Is he running this week?
Yeah, he's in the 10 car.
Okay. I'm gonna go Sheldon Creed. It's gonna happen eventually.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Parker Kligerman.
I can allow someone else to do it.
Cup Series new rules package for the short tracks, smaller spoiler, smaller under rake, spoiler rake. I don't know the terms. Not a
Words.
Fortunately, I'm not a race car engineer. Or fortunately, whichever way you look at it. Less downforce is the moral of the story. Less downforce. Who we got? They get an extra hour of practice on Friday too.
Who's the guy that's gonna be good at this?
I'm taking the 9 car. I don't care who's in it.
I was gonna do that too.
You can.
No, I don't want to.
You could just take Jimmy Johnson if he races.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna go Bubba.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. He's pretty quick there the last couple of years, I think. I'm gonna take. I'm drawing a blank now. Who's good on the flat tracks?
SHR.
Carl Edwards.
True, Carl Edwards is pretty good on
Harvick.
flat tracks.
Kasey
I'm
Kahne,
gonna go
Jeff
with
Gordon.
Ryan Blaney because he has Kasey
Kyle
Kahne.
Petty.
Kyle
All right,
Petty.
Kyle
You know
Petty.
what? Screw it. Ryan Blaney's winning this week because Kyle Petty talked a bunch of smack about him.
That'd
Blaney.
be perfect. Yeah.
All right, that's Fake Racers podcast for this week.
It's all done. It's over. We're not recording anymore. I'm not gonna do that.
Folks, can't thank you enough for watching this week or listening, however you participated in this week's edition of the Fake Racers podcast. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe, follow us at Johto Network, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Also, make sure you're following the mothership at Johto Network here on YouTube because these are posted to JTN2. Which one of you wants to go first?
I have fine. I'll do it. I have very little plug. Adam Stone51 on Twitter. Okay.
Sorry. It's just
And
too
Davey.
funny. Davey has it on Twitter, D75 on Instagram, and D75 with an ER at the end on Twitch if you want to learn how to be a race car driver. Don't go to my stream for that, but I can maybe help a little bit.
And we'll have all those things linked down in the video description below to make them nice and easy for you to find. Remember, folks, be a friend, tell a friend about our podcast. It's always appreciated when you click that share button. It costs nothing to do except for probably a little bit of your dignity, but we'd appreciate if you'd sell your soul just a little bit to help the Fake Racers podcast get more views or listens or subscriptions or whatever. We'd appreciate it. So,
I agree.
with
I
all
also
that being
appreciate
with that all being said, folks, cannot thank you enough for watching this week, listening, however you participated. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. We hope you enjoy the racing, and we can't wait to talk with you next week here on the Fake Racers podcast. So long for now, folks.
Goodbye.
Well,